Gonna bring this baby back to life. Old school gem. BMW. Let's go. What is up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Today we have a 1996 Beamer. And yes, it is a convertible top. And it hasn't been on the road for a while. It needs a couple pulleys and a radiator hose. So you can tell it hasn't been on the road since 2022. Nice little drop top. And it is a 318i. So that's a 96 318i. It's a 4-cylinder, old school. And we are going to change some things out. So like I said, I already went ahead and I removed the 10mm bolt here to take out this air intake duct. Now what you want to do, you have this over here. I don't have two hands, but you want to swing it around and up. Let's see if I can do it. There you go. Over and out. Just be careful, especially if it's old. These get brittle. So now you have that wide open. You got all your space. And now you have the box you got to take off. So before you do that, you got to disconnect this sensor. It goes like this. You just go ahead and pull this outwards, all the way out. Not all the way out, but all the way out like so. And then you should be able to remove it, clip it back in, you'll be all set. And you move that aside. And then you have these two clamps. You'll just pop them out. And then when you put them together, you'll clamp them in right here on this, on both sides. And then don't forget to take out your plastic clips. There's one, I believe there's 2, 3, 4. Yes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5. Once you get all that off, you just take it out and put it aside. I think this is a horrible design where they put all this stuff and it's literally just falling apart. Look, I just touch it. That's no good, especially if that gets in the intake system. So I might take this off and get all this out so that way this is not getting sucked into the engine. And that's where all that stuff would go if you let it. So you could already see the little particles of that foam just hanging out. All right, so now that we have those two components off, now we can go ahead and take off the radiator. I already took off the clamps. As you can see, this is the result of an old radiator hose, and this is what happens when they run for too long and you don't replace them. They get soft and then they end up exploding. So that's what happened here, and that's why I'm working on the car. I should add something down below to catch that, but it's not a big deal. So we're also going to be replacing the tensioner pulley, and we're also going to be replacing the power steering pulley as it is compromised. So let's jump right into that. All right, guys, so we have to take off the air box so we can get down here, and also take off these two 10mm bolts so we can remove a power steering reservoir, and which goes to the pump down there, because we're going to be removing this because the pulley's bad. If you look at it, you see it go in and out. So that's no good. So we're gonna take that out and replace it. And then we're also gonna be replacing that pulley and that pulley. So that's gotta be changed. So let's jump into it. Like I said, you got to take off those two 10mm bolts, but before you do that, there's 10mm nuts right over here, but they're on this side. which hold in that air box right there. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna take those bolts off. They are a 1/2 inch socket, so you can go ahead and do that now. All right, guys, so we got the pulley off. These 3 1/2 inch bolts, or you can use a 13 millimeter. I just used my Milwaukee with a 13 stubby with this out the way. If not, it won't work. And then you could disconnect these 3 bolts without even holding the pulley. This is a 17 millimeter nut. It was kind of a pain in the butt to take out. It looks like it was never removed or replaced. And you can see the fluid, how dark and black it is. It's kind of nasty. So yeah, with that said, I had to heat it up a little bit, and then I threw in some PB Blaster, let it sit, heat it up just a little bit, not too hot, and then threw some more PB Blaster, and then I was able to crank it loose with the 17 wrench. So once you get that out, now you have to take out these bolts, these Torx. I'm going to assume these are T30s. I'm about to find out in a second, and then there's one more down there. So it's literally just 3 bolts. This thing's pretty small. And then we should be able to take that out. Alright guys, so the power steering pump is out. I actually didn't have to disconnect these. These weren't T30s. These are actually T40s. But I didn't have to disconnect them right there and then. But you do once you get the pump out, because you're gonna have to take out these T30s, and then on the back side, which you'll never be able to get to, is not T30s, my bad, T40s on both sides. You gotta get these 3 out, and oh, look at that leak. Speaking of that, look at how nasty that is. Nasty, nasty, nasty. But, so, with that said, these 2 top bolts, you have 13 millimeters. Right here, those 2. You got this one and this one. They're gonna go through the bracket that is in the car. And then once you disconnect those 2 13s or 1/2 inch, whatever socket you guys use, metric or SAE, you're gonna have to take it out. Now, with the tensioner, you're gonna have to put a pin in, because if you don't put the tensioner back where it belongs, this bolt is going to be hard to take out because the tensioner is pushed up against it, and it's going to be hard to get a socket or even a wrench over it. So what I did was I took an Allen key. Let's see if I can get a good shot of that. There we go. Yeah, so I took an Allen key and I stuck it in there, and I had to tension it all the way back. That way that can stay. All right guys, we got the new pump in, all good to go. You just got to put in those 13s like I told you off the bracket. There's one there and one over here. Put those in, you should be good to go. Tighten those T40s down before you slap it in there. It should be good to go. We have just one fitting we got to put on, but I want to fill this up with a little bit of new power steering fluid. I'll top it off in there, and then I'll tighten the nut down and go from there. So I'm going to move ahead and replace these 2 pulleys. Alright guys, so now we have the fitting in for the power steering, and I filled a little bit of fluid in there, topped it off, and we're going to be replacing the tensioner too. So I'll go ahead and I'll do that now, as well as this one. Just take out that bolt, and then these are Allen keys. There's one right there on the left, and I believe there's another one somewhere over here right above this bolt. I believe it's right there. So I have to get to that. So what you have to do is relieve the tension on it and get this to lock over here with that hole. So that hole, put an Allen key or something in there, and it'll lock in place. And that way you can take out this bolt already, and then once this is moved out the way, you can take out the other bolt. And then this is just a 18 most likely, and then you could take that out and replace it. You could hear it. You can hear that one too. So we're gonna replace them both. All right, let's do that. All right, guys. So we got the tensioner out, and I don't believe it is a 6, metric 6. I got it out with the metric 6, but you can see that it's kind of twisting in there, so that's not the right one. But I got it out. I had to heat it up a little bit. On the right hand side, you can see all the corrosion. But those are the 2 bolts. And yes, if you guys are gonna ask, this wheel has to come off. The power steering pulley has to come off. If not, you can't change your tensioner. So that's why I'm doing all these pulleys now. So the power steering pump was replaced, the pulley's getting replaced, tensioner pulleys, complete tensioner is getting replaced, and this has already been replaced. I put the cover on it. If you guys don't know, BMW puts covers on their stuff. So it was actually a 16mm bolt. So remove the 16mm bolt. There's a washer in the back that you have to change with the, not change, but swap over to the new bearing, and then go ahead and tighten it. And now we're doing the tensioner, and then we'll button up the pulley, which I would also put a blue lock thread on there. So that's what I'm gonna do once I install this, once I'm done with the tensioner. So that'll be next. So let's go ahead and I'll install that now. All right. So you want to remove that special key that comes with the tensioner. It's already locked in. But once you get the belt in place, as you can see here, then you want to remove that pin, which is located right there, as you can see. And now you got tension on all the belts. The pulley is installed. The torque bolt is a T50. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm trying to get this camera to focus. Yeah, doesn't want to focus today. There you go, T50. So that's a T50. Do what you gotta do to relieve the tension, and then you put the belt on, and you are good to go. So now we'll start it up, and then we'll just put the power steering fluid in, connect the hoses, put this all back together like we disassembled it in the beginning. We're gonna put the radiator hose on, and that should just about wrap it up. Put the air box on, not too difficult, and then finish up putting the rest of the air ducts in. But other than that, that is pretty much it. Go ahead and fill up the reservoir as well with some new fluid, and then turn your steering wheel left, right, let it circulate, and then top off your power steering fluid, and you should be just about good to go. Because these are all set. Your tensioner is put in, your new pulley is put on. They are not making any noise, so we're gonna have a nice, smooth, nice ride for this BMW 318i. So that's gonna be nice for a 1996 to still be running the way this one is. It is fantastic. So I like to see these things around because they're pretty neat. I like the 90s cars tremendously, so that's awesome. So this is nice to be working on an old school car. I'm not a fan of the new ones, but hey, they got to be fixed. I'm in there and I'm going to fix it. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, as you guys know, like, comment, and subscribe. That way my videos get out there and I can get more videos out to you guys with more subscriptions and more comments and more traffic essentially to my page and my channel. So as always, thanks for tuning in. That is it for the power steering pump install, as well as the tensioner and the idler pulley as well. So lastly, we're going to install the radiator hose. All right, you guys, the radiator hose is in. It is all set. Just tighten that clamp up, tighten that clamp up. If you have bad old clamps, go ahead and switch them out. Top this off. We're going to run the car for about 10 to 15 minutes, bleed the system. I'll put my funnel over here and let it bleed, and then we should be good to go. So that's pretty much how you do the top radiator hose. Very simple, very easy. The hardest part is disconnecting all the components for the air duct and air box. You don't have to take out the air box, but the air duct does sit right over here. You have these two 10mm bolts, and your air duct sits right over here, so on and so forth. With that said, that is all set. That concludes the video. Other than that, that is it. This thing is all set. Look at that. Beauty. Wow. Alright guys, that concludes the video. And yeah, no more noises. This baby is done and ready to rock. If you guys like this video, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And you'll see more videos coming. That's it.